You know that exhausting loop where you make a decision, then immediately start questioning it, wondering if you should have chosen differently. But what if the path to trusting yourself isn't about getting rid of doubt, but about learning a gentler way to respond to it? Today we're going to explore how to trust yourself more when you keep second guessing, and it starts with one simple shift in how you talk to yourself in those uncertain moments. This matters because second guessing doesn't just slow you down, it quietly erodes your confidence in everyday choices, from what to say in a conversation to which direction to take in your life. When you begin to practice this shift, you'll notice that the inner critic starts to soften and you feel a little more grounded even when you're not 100% sure. The key mistake most of us make is thinking we need to silence the doubt entirely, when really we just need to learn how to hold it without letting it take over. In this video, I'll walk you through a calm, practical process that helps you recognize the second-guessing pattern and gently guide yourself back to trust, step by step. So let's start by looking at what's actually happening in your mind when that familiar voice of doubt shows up. Trusting yourself more when you keep second-guessing is about learning to quiet that inner voice of doubt. It matters because that constant back and forth can drain your energy and leave you stuck. In real life, it means making a decision and feeling okay with it, even if it's not perfect. For example, you might choose a career path or a simple daily choice without replaying it over and over. A common misunderstanding is that trust means never feeling uncertain, but that's not true. The relief comes when you realize you can act despite the doubt, not after it disappears. The takeaway here is that self-trust is a skill you build, not a switch you flip. Let's look at why this matters so much for your everyday well-being next. This topic matters because second-guessing can quietly steal your peace of mind. When you don't trust yourself, even small choices feel heavy and exhausting. It affects your well-being by creating a constant hum of anxiety that follows you around. Think about how much mental energy you waste rethinking decisions you already made. A realistic truth is that this habit can make you feel less capable over time, which isn't fair to you. The benefit of building self-trust is that you free up that energy for things that actually matter. You start to feel lighter and more present in your daily life. Now, let's explore what life looks like when this trust is missing. When self-trust is missing, life can feel like a series of stuck moments. You might find yourself asking others for opinions on things you already know. Simple tasks, like replying to an email or picking a restaurant, can take way too long. A common pattern is that you second-guess your own memory or judgment, even on familiar topics. The pitfall here is that this doubt can make you avoid decisions altogether, which leads to missed opportunities. It's a heavy feeling, like you're always waiting for someone else to confirm you're right. The insight is that this isn't about being wrong. It's about not trusting your own process. Next, we'll look at the habits and beliefs that keep this cycle going. If this idea of trusting yourself more really spoke to you, I'd love to hear about it. Which part of the video felt most relatable or helpful for you? Maybe it's the thought of pausing before you react, or simply noticing that second-guessing pattern. You can share your thoughts in the comments below. It's a great way to learn from each other. And if you haven't already, hitting that like button helps others find this kind of support too. Subscribing to Happy Life Tribe means you'll get more videos like this, all about small steps toward a calmer life. So feel free to stick around and keep watching for more practical ideas. I really appreciate you being here with me. One big habit that blocks self-trust is constantly seeking reassurance from others. You might ask for advice on every little thing, which trains your brain to doubt itself. Another pattern is replaying past mistakes in your head, which makes you feel less reliable. A common belief is that you need to be 100% sure before you act, but that's a trap. The truth is that perfectionism often hides behind second-guessing, making you think you're being careful. The relief comes when you see these habits as learned behaviors, not permanent flaws. You can start to notice when you're doing them and gently shift away. Let's move into the first mindset shift that can help you break free. The first mindset shift is to accept that uncertainty is a normal part of life. You don't need to eliminate doubt. You just need to stop letting it drive. This shift matters because it takes the pressure off being perfect every time. Instead of fighting the feeling of not knowing, you can acknowledge it and move forward anyway. A realistic truth is that even confident people feel unsure, but they act despite it. The benefit here is that you start to see doubt as a signal, not a stop sign. Your takeaway is to remind yourself that action builds trust, not waiting for certainty. Now, let's look at the first practical step to begin changing this. The first practical step is to start making small decisions quickly and sticking with them. Choose something simple, like what to wear or what route to take, and don't look back. This works because it trains your brain to trust your own choices in low-stakes situations. A helpful detail is to set a timer for 1 minute and decide before it goes off. The pitfall to avoid is reopening the decision later to check if you were right. The insight is that each small win builds momentum for bigger decisions down the road. You'll feel a small sense of relief each time you follow through without second-guessing. In the next part, we'll explore how to handle the bigger doubts that still come up. So what does trusting yourself actually look like when you're just going about your day? It's not about making big, dramatic decisions all the time. It's the small, quiet moments that really show it. Imagine you're choosing what to wear in the morning, and instead of changing 3 times, you just go with your first pick. Or when a friend asks for your opinion, you share it without immediately wondering if you're wrong. It's that feeling of picking a restaurant for dinner and not spending the whole meal second-guessing your choice. These tiny acts of self-trust build a foundation that makes bigger decisions feel less scary over time. The key is noticing when you're hesitating and gently reminding yourself that your first instinct is usually fine. Once you start seeing this in your routine, it becomes easier to spot where you're holding back for no good reason. One simple practice that can really help is what I call the first thought check-in. It's a tiny habit you can do a few times a day, and it takes less than 10 seconds. Whenever you have a small decision to make, pause and notice what your very first thought is before you start overthinking. Then, just go with that thought without analyzing it further, even if it feels a little uncomfortable at first. The trick is to start with low-stakes choices like which route to take on a walk or what song to play next. Over time, this trains your brain to trust that initial impulse instead of immediately doubting it. You're not trying to be perfect here, you're just practicing the muscle of acting on your own judgment. This habit slowly rewires your default response from hesitation to quiet confidence. For those of you who want to keep building on this trust in yourself, there's a gentle resource you might enjoy. Over at www.happylifetribe.com, you'll find practical ideas and encouragement for everyday life. It's a space focused on calm living, inspiration, and mindful guidance, all without any pressure. You can explore simple tools to help you feel more grounded and less stuck in doubt. Whether it's a short article or a reflection exercise, the goal is to support you in real, small ways. It's completely free to visit, and there's no rush to sign up or commit to anything. Think of it as a helpful nudge for your journey whenever you need it. I hope you find something there that feels like a kind reminder to trust your own path. A really common mistake people make is thinking that trusting yourself means never feeling uncertain again. They wait until they feel 100% sure before they act, and that almost never happens. The truth is, even people who seem confident still have doubts. They just don't let those doubts stop them. Another pitfall is comparing your inner process to someone else's outer calm, which only makes you feel more inadequate. You might also fall into the trap of expecting immediate results, then giving up when the doubt doesn't vanish overnight. Remember, self-trust isn't about eliminating uncertainty. It's about moving forward despite it. The goal is to make peace with the fact that you'll sometimes be wrong, and that's okay. Avoiding this mistake saves you from the frustration of chasing an impossible standard. To keep this from feeling overwhelming, start by lowering the stakes in your mind as much as possible. Remind yourself that most decisions aren't life or death, and the ones that are usually have clear answers anyway. Break it down into tiny experiments, like trusting yourself on one small choice per day and seeing what happens. If you mess up or feel regret, treat it as data, not as proof that you can't trust yourself. It also helps to set a time limit for decisions, give yourself 30 seconds for small ones, and move on. This prevents the endless loop of analysis that makes self-trust feel like a huge burden. Realistically, you're not going to transform overnight, and that's exactly why small steps work better. Each little win builds momentum without the pressure of a complete personality overhaul. As you start trusting yourself more, you'll notice a quiet shift in how you feel inside. That constant background noise of self-doubt begins to fade, leaving more mental space for other things. You might find yourself feeling less anxious about everyday choices because you're not second-guessing every move. There's also a growing sense of relief, like you've finally taken a weight off your own shoulders. Emotionally, you become more resilient because you're no longer relying on external validation to feel okay. You start to realize that your own judgment is actually pretty reliable, which builds a gentle sense of pride. This inner calm doesn't mean you'll never feel unsure again, but it does mean the doubt will not control you. Over time, this emotional shift makes life feel lighter and more manageable, even during stressful moments. When life gets hectic, it's easy to fall back into old habits of second-guessing and overthinking. To keep your momentum, anchor your practice to something you already do every day, like brushing your teeth. Right after that routine action, take one small moment to make a quick decision without overthinking it. Another trick is to remind yourself that busy times are exactly when self-trust matters most. If you slip up and start doubting again, don't treat it as a failure. Just notice it and gently return to the practice. You can also keep a simple note on your phone with one sentence like, "I trust my first thought today." This small reminder can cut through the noise and bring you back to center when you're rushed. And with that foundation in place, we can move into how to handle the deeper doubts that still pop up from time to time. Over weeks and months, this trust you're building starts to quietly reshape your daily decisions. You may not notice it at first, but small moments add up to real change. Instead of freezing over minor choices, you begin to move forward with less mental back and forth. For example, you might pick a time to leave the house without checking your phone 3 times. This shift doesn't mean doubt disappears entirely, it just becomes quieter and less controlling. You start feeling a new kind of ease in conversations, work tasks, and even quiet reflection. The real benefit is that your energy gets freed up for things that actually matter to you. Over time, this becomes a natural rhythm, not something you have to force. You know, one of the nicest parts of this journey is realizing you're not alone in it. At Happy Life Tribe, you can connect with others who are also learning to trust themselves a little more. It's a warm, supportive community where people share what works for them in real life. You don't have to figure everything out by yourself. There's a lot of encouragement to go around. If you'd like to be part of that, consider subscribing to the channel or visiting www.happylifetribe.com. It's a simple way to stay connected and keep that gentle momentum going. Together, we can remind each other that progress happens in small, honest steps. I'd love to have you alongside us as we keep learning and growing. Even with progress, there will be days when the old second-guessing shows up again. This can feel discouraging, like you've taken a step backward. Maybe you face a high-stakes decision or someone questions your choice and the doubt floods back. It's easy to think you've failed, but that's just the pattern trying to reclaim its spot. Setbacks are not evidence that trust isn't possible. They are part of learning something new. The challenge is to notice without judging yourself harshly for slipping. When you expect these moments, they lose some of their power to shake you. The next scene will walk through how to get back on track when this happens. When you catch yourself second-guessing again, the first step is simply to pause. Don't try to force confidence, just acknowledge what's happening with a little kindness. Remind yourself that a single slip does not undo all the trust you've already built. Then take one tiny action that aligns with what you believe is right, even if it feels shaky. For instance, you might say no to an extra commitment you weren't sure about, just to practice. This small move reminds your brain that you can still decide from a place of self-trust. Recovery is not about perfection, it's about coming back to yourself gently and repeatedly. Each recovery actually strengthens your ability to trust more easily the next time. This whole approach is especially helpful for people who tend to overthink or worry about making mistakes. If you often replay decisions in your head or need reassurance from others, this shift is for you. It also helps perfectionists who hold themselves to impossible standards and then freeze under the pressure. But really, anyone who has ever felt stuck in their own hesitation can benefit from this. The reason is that second guessing steals time and energy that could go toward living fully. Learning to trust yourself is a skill that makes daily life feel lighter and more honest. You don't have to be a naturally confident person. This is something you can practice and grow. And the best part is that you can start today, no matter where you are right now. If you want to start trusting yourself more right now, here is a grounded first step. Choose one small decision you've been avoiding, maybe what to wear, when to reply to a message, or how to spend an hour. Before you check with anyone else or overthink, just pick an option and commit to it for now. Then, notice how it feels to act without running it by your inner critic first. It might feel uncomfortable, but that's okay. Discomfort is not a sign you did something wrong. Afterward, reflect briefly on what you learned from following your own choice, even if it wasn't perfect. Repeat this with one small decision each day, and the pattern will slowly rewire. This is not about big leaps. It's about building trust through tiny, repeatable acts of self-reliance. The journey of trusting yourself is not about becoming someone you're not. It's about coming home to the voice you already have inside, the one that knows what you need. Every time you choose to follow that voice, even quietly, you tell yourself you matter. There will still be moments of doubt, but they will no longer own your decisions. This change is worth practicing because it opens up a life where you feel more grounded and free. You stop waiting for permission and start living from a place of inner steadiness. The goal isn't to eliminate second guessing, it's to let it pass through without stopping you. Keep going one small trust at a time and you will find that you are always capable of knowing your own path. So as we wrap up here, I hope you're feeling a little more grounded in trusting yourself even when doubts creep in. The next time you second guess, remember that you can pause, breathe, and check in with your own inner voice. You don't have to get it perfect, just try one small step from today's video. If this resonated with you, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to Happy Life Tribe. For more gentle guidance and practical ideas, you can always visit www.happylifetribe.com. There you'll find encouragement, support, calm living inspiration, and mindful lifestyle tips to help you build a happier, more intentional life. Subscribing or visiting the site is a simple way to keep this kind of support close by. Take things at your own pace, and know that a little trust in yourself goes a long way.